Tampa Bay Rays and your Tigers. And if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, make sure you bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. You get a free regular roast beef sandwich, and you can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at foxsports.com. In the Major League Baseball section, we'll check out the starting lineup for the Tampa Bay Rays, brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute. Jason Bartlett leads it off at shortstop. Gabe Kapler gets the start in left field, followed by Ben Zobrist. Pat Burrell is the DH. Evan Longoria at third, followed by Carlos Pena batting lower in the lineup against the lefty. You've got Ivar Navarro and DJ Upton as the bottom three. The Dodge scouting report is on left-hander Jared Washburn.
It's always about location when Washburn takes the hill for the Tigers. He's had some starts this year where he has not had good location, giving up some long balls. But in the starts that he's gone out there with good location, mixing his pitches up, those are the 2 starts he's done very well.
Well, Washburn looking for his second Tigers victory. Picked up his first Tigers win in his last start.
His numbers against this Tampa Bay Rays team in his career are staggering. 12-3.
And a very good ERA. For some reason, this has just been a great matchup. And of course, I think a lot of those numbers obviously came when Tampa was struggling and perennially in last place. Last year, they turned things around. 2 balls and 1 strike on Jason Bartlett. A few clouds in the area, plenty of sunshine though. 67 degrees our game time temperature today. Lifted in the air toward right field, shallow right. Thomas will not get there. It'll drop in, a base hit.
Let's take a look at the rest of the Tigers defense behind Washburn this afternoon. You've got Guillen out in left field once again, Granderson in center, Thomas in right. The infield reads Inge, Santiago, Polanco, Cabrera. Alex Avila getting his first start of the series with Washburn being on the mound. A little easier for Washburn to throw out some of these would-be base stealers with Washburn on the mound. Your Chrysler and Jeep superstores.
So Avila for Laird, who threw a couple of guys out yesterday. Ball 1 missing outside to Gabe Kapler. Kapler in the 2 spot today for the Tampa Bay Rays. Crawford is not playing, despite the fact that he has decent numbers against left-handed pitching. But Kapler gets the call today. He has a home run in the series.
Do not know for sure what Crawford's issues are. Obviously, he's played the first 3 games of this series, but he did miss a little time before they got to Detroit with a little bit of a sore back. So I'm sure Joe Madden just giving him an afternoon off before they go home and play against Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, they've got a really wicked stretch coming up.
They sure do.
Yeah, they're in a they're calling it the Ring of Fire, the whole Johnny Cash theme, but they've got 17 straight against teams that are trying to get into the playoffs. Boston is in the mix. The Yankees, of course, the Tigers will be going to Tampa next week.
Well, you want to be chasing the teams that are ahead of you. If you're Tampa right now, getting a chance to play them, and they get a chance to play Boston 6 more times.
2 balls, 1 strike on Gabe Kapler. 304 against left-handed pitching. Maybe another one of the reasons why Kapler, who has hit all of his home runs against lefties,
homered here the other day against the left-hander.
The 2-1. Now 3 balls and 1 strike.
And with Washburn being on the mound, I'm sure that kind of played into the decision making of Jim Leland as he set up his catching rotation for the 4-game series. And with this Tampa team, they run a lot, 167 stolen bases as a team, but Washburn, it's tough to get a good jump when he's on the mound, which would help the youngster out.
There's a walk to Kapler, and the first 2 Rays have reached here today. Single and a walk. And now Ben Zobrist will come strolling in.
I was talking to Jeff Jones, bullpen coach, before the game, and I was asking him how he would get Washburn prepared for this start. And he said Washburn, unlike the other Tiger starters, they don't really form a game plan for him, at least not yet. He's been in the big leagues for a long time, and he's had a lot of success. So they just allow him to do what he does best.
Yeah, 12 career wins. It's pretty much go get him.
Makes sense. Why change?
Zobrist takes strike 1. Batting in the 3 slot. Relatively quiet in the series, although he's having a career year. He's 1 for 9.
One thing Washburn has been tremendous at this year, and that's limiting the damage done against him once there are runners in scoring position. He's been one of the best pitchers in the league.
Vila down to get that one. 1 ball and 1 strike on Zobrist, whose career high in home runs prior to this year was 12. This season he has hit 23. He has seemingly put it all together this year with 70 RBIs as well. 1 ball and 1 strike. Slow start to this one. A bloop single to right field off the bat of Bartlett, and then the walk to Kapler. Rays desperate for a win. They are in the wild card chase. And that misses low and away. 2-1.
That's what Washburn does. He's not going to give in to the hitter. Even though it's a hitter's count right now, 2 balls and 1 strike, he'll cut it. He'll sink the fastball. He'll throw you that slow breaking ball or changeup. And for the most part, when he is going well, he keeps the ball out of the center of the plate.
Hammered back out of play. 2-2. The Rays really have had a horrible time of knocking in runs in this series. Look at their numbers with men in scoring position. 2 for 26, which has Joe Madden scratching his head.
Tigers have a good pitching staff, and they pitch very well in Comerica Park.
Zobrist lines one to the gap in left center field. That ball is down. A base hit. Here comes Bartlett around to score. Kapler will go to third, and Zobrist is in with a double, and Tampa takes an early lead.
After taking a heartbreaking loss in yesterday's game, Tampa comes out swinging today.
That's one of those get punched in the mouth type of losses Tampa took yesterday.
That's a good piece of hitting right there by Zobrist. That was a cut fastball that kind of ran in inside on him, but he was very patient. Just kind of pulled his hands in nicely and was able to whistle that ball in the left center field and get himself a hustling double.
Here's Pat Burrell now with runners at second and third. Still nobody out.
That's a good pitch. Man on third, less than 2 outs. You know Burrell looking for a first pitch fastball. And Washburn was able to get ahead with the changeup.
A couple of hits in the series for Pat Burrell. He has a double. .239 batting average this year. And now it's quickly 0-2.
Well, your mindset right now, if you're Washburn, you have to think that you're going to give up the run that's on third base, which would be Kapler. But you can limit the rest of the damage that can be done against you in this inning. Focus on the hitters and not so much on that runner on third and stranding him there. That's how you stay out of big innings.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Right off the mask of Avila. He'll ring his bell.
Well, let's take a look at it in Lincoln Mercury Exmo. Hello, darling.
It's that titanium mask that Avila wears. It's supposed to be lighter. The 0-2 pitch. Little cue shot. That's going to be a fair ball. He just dunks it into right field. That'll score 2 runs. Burrell is on his way to second, and he is in there with a bloop double down the right field line. 2 RBIs for Pat Burrell and a quick start for the Rays today. 3-0.
Burrell couldn't have taken that changeup and thrown it and landed any perfectly than that swing. Right off the end of the bat, right inside the foul line.
So 3 runs on 3 hits already in this game for Tampa Bay. Burrell gets RBIs 51 and 52. And now here is Evan Longoria, still nobody out. Ball 1 to Longoria. He's homered in this series, but despite that, is still only 2 for 12. And he came into the series struggling a bit. 4 for his last 25 now. Longoria, though, still having Another very good season. The 1-0 is missing low. 2 balls and no strikes. Washburn gave up the leadoff bloop single to Bartlett after a walk to Kapler. Zobrist, a solid double to left center. And then the bloop hit by Burrell. Fouled straight back. He had a rip on 2-0 and sent it right back to the screen. Longoria, the rookie of the year last year, unanimous vote. As an all-star this year, did not play. And trying to pad this Tampa lead here in the first inning, and now Longoria will step out. Now the 2-1, and it's cued to the other way to the right side, just past Cabrera. This will get another run in. That is the third less than hard hit ball in this inning against Washburn, and now it's 4-0.
Last couple of hitters have done a pretty nice job of situational hitting, though. Burrell was up there with nobody out, runners on second and third, and really all he was trying to do was score 1 run and get the other guy to third base. He was rewarded with a double and a couple of RBIs, and you could clearly see that that's exactly what Longoria was trying to do with nobody out and a runner at second. He was trying to advance him, and when you play the game the right way, every now and then you get rewarded, and Longoria was rewarded there as well.
So Washburn trying to shake off a little bit of tough luck in this inning. 4 runs on 4 hits. He has yet to retire a batter, and here is Carlos Pena. Pena with the lefty on the mound is batting all the way down to 6 in their lineup today. He hits just 199 against lefties.
Joe Madden is hoping that Pena can run into one today.
He just may have. Driven deep into right field, way back. Thomas to the wall and gone. Carlos Pena has hit a 2-run shot. 199 against lefties or not, he is just homered to make it 6-0.
Pena came in with 97 hits this year and 30-plus home runs, and now that is 38% of his hits are home runs.
It's amazing.
38%. And this is why he's in the lineup. I mean, you know the numbers. You know Washburn's great against left-handed pitching hitters, and so you put Pena in there and you hope that he could do exactly as he did.
Well, for Pena now with 38 homers, only 11 of them have come against left-handed pitching.
Shockingly, that's the 10th home run that Washburn has given up since putting on a Tigers uniform. He had only given up only 11 in 133 innings as a Seattle Mariner.
Willie Ibar the batter, and he takes strike 2.
That's amazing.
Especially when you consider that most of his starts have come in this ballpark. With the deep center field.
A 6th spot, nobody out.
It's a rough start. High fly ball. That's in the left center field. This will stay in the ballpark, though. Granderson coming over. First out, and a sarcastic cheer comes cascading down from the stands.
Carlos Pena with 38 home runs and 35 singles. And here's a list of some of the other guys that have done the same exact thing. I think you heard of those other 2 guys.
Yeah, but those guys were hitting 60 and 70 home runs.
That's true.
Pena's numbers are really very awkward, but very productive.
If Pena's batting average was about 250, he'd have about 130 RBIs right now.
I'd agree. What does he have now? With the 2 today, he's got 94.
And that's hitting 219.
Deanna Navarro, the batter. Line to left field. Here comes Guillen to make the catch. 2 gone.
Well, whatever the game plan was for Washburn coming in, they may have to change it up a little bit. And because Tampa's up for the task this afternoon. And you're talking about a guy in Washburn that came in lifetime 12-3.
Yeah.
Against Tampa. 12-3.
More wins against the Tampa Bay Rays than any other team he has faced. But today they dropped a 6 spot on him here in the first inning. Here's the 9th man to bat, B.J. Upton. Strike one.
And Washburn's going to have to stay out there for a while. It's just the way it is. And Jim working with a 6-man bullpen for one more day.
Here's the 30th pitch in this inning. And it's cued the other way, foul.
When Jim said he wanted to kind of stay with that 6-man bullpen when we went out to Oakland for that last road trip, I didn't think there was any way that he was going to be able to do it.
I agree. I thought there was no chance he'd get through Oakland and Anaheim with that happening, but they found a way to get it done.
Yeah. Didn't have to send one of his position players down.
The 0-2 to Upton. Well, the call-ups have been made public, and the Tigers will have a few guys coming up from the minor leagues. Bonine, Jeremy Bonderman will be returning. Casey Thien is coming back. Dusty Ryan, Wilkin Ramirez. There's a ground ball to third. Inge gobbles it up there, and that is that for the Tampa Bay Rays. Big inning, 6 runs, and we'll go to the bottom of the first, 6-0. Tiger, they're out to a 6-0 lead. Tigers starting lineup today presented by Big Boy. It has Curtis Granderson in center, Polanco at second, Guillen is in left. Your cleanup man is Miguel Cabrera. Aubrey Huff is the DH. Inge is at third base. Your bottom three today features Thomas Avila and Ramon Santiago. Well, the Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on James Shields. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, Big Game James, that's what they call him. And he's got a legitimate swing and miss pitch. It's a changeup. It's a tremendous pitch for him, along with a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. And he won't be asking for a lot of help today, because his teammates have already scored him 6 runs. But on average, just over 3.5 runs per game for James, which is second lowest run support in the American League coming in.
Wasn't James Worthy called Big Game James as well?
Yes, he was.
Showtime Lakers?
Yes, he was.
3-0 on Curtis Granderson. Shields, 27 years old, out of Newhall, California. 3-0 pitch. 3-1.
When I first saw this guy pitch a few years ago, I thought he had a Cy Young in his future for sure.
Agreed.
His stuff was that good.
High fly ball, right center field. Got into that one. Upton drifting. And Granderson is out, one gone.
Let's take a look at the Tampa defense behind Big Game Shields. Presented by Honda Bloomfield. Kapler, Upton, Zobrist in the outfield. Longoria, Bartlett, Ibar at second. Carlos Pena won a Gold Glove at that position last year. Would be first base, and Navarro is behind the plate today.
Shields will face Placido Polanco, yesterday's hero. And he delivers strike one.
I was asking Polanco today, what were you trying to do with that 2-0 pitch? He said, Poppy. He calls everybody Poppy. He says, I was just trying to get a hit. Because he had struggled a little bit in the series.
Yes, he had. That ball's going to get through, though. Base hit. In fact, he snapped an 0 for 13.
Yeah, he said, Poppy, I was just trying to get a base hit.
Well, don't they say that you hit home runs when you don't try?
Absolutely.
Tigers get their first base runner. Here comes Guillen.
Well, Jim talked about the fact that Shields holds runners very well. As good as Garza did a couple of days ago. You just don't steal bases when Shields on the mound. And Jim said he would have liked to put on a hit and run or two, but down by 6. They may take that ball out of Jim's hands, at least until they get back in this game.
Carlos 0 for 7 so far in this series. And he hammers one toward left field, hit pretty well. On the move is Kepler, still going. That ball is slicing, and that ball is a fair ball home run. Carlos Guillen with an opposite field 2-run shot, and the Tigers are getting back into this game.
They play very well here at Comerica Park, and they're never out of a game. Carlos does not have a lot of power in this direction, but he gets a firm fastball from Shields. He catches it just right, and he just drives this ball the other way. One thing about Comerica Park, at least for the last 6 weeks or so, the ball's been flying here. It has not been playing like a big ballpark.
Well, there's another one. Guillen's 7th of the year, 352 feet the estimated distance. And what a way to answer. The Tigers are still down by 4 runs, but Shields promptly gives up 2 of the 6 that his teammates got him.
They've been pitching Miguel aggressively inside with fastballs all series long. It really doesn't matter which pitcher it's been. A couple of inches off the plate inside, a couple of pitches off the plate outside. And he's hitless in the first 3 games of this series. He has not gotten loose.
To the tune of 0 for 11. But that can change very quickly. And now it's 3-1. Shields has pitched more innings than anybody on the Tampa staff this year. He came in with nearly 180 innings. Bouncer back up the middle into center. That snaps that string of 0 for 11. 3 straight hits.
Shields' numbers really aren't that bad. You look at the 27 starts he's made prior. He comes in with 8 wins, but if you look at the earned run average, I told you that he had not been getting lots of run support. But he doesn't walk that many. He gets a few strikeouts, and he surrendered quite a few home runs, as most power guys do. Fastball, curve, slider, change. Outstanding changeup.
Aubrey Huff had a double in the ball game yesterday, and that snapped an 0 for 18.
Yeah, Jim said today before the game he was entertaining the thought of putting a hit and run on yesterday with Aubrey to get him going. Managers will do that from time to time when they've got a slugger who has not gotten a lot of hits. They take all the guesswork out of it for him.
Well, on his front foot that time. The shallow pop is just caught, and now they're going to double up Cabrera.
Oh, where are you going, Cam?
Cabrera was halfway between first and second, and a double play ends the inning. standing the test of time since 1849. Your Motor City Dodge dealers. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Back here at Comerica Park. Few clouds in the area here today. Great weather nonetheless. 67 degrees our game time temperature. Tigers fell behind early in this one, but they got two back. And now Jason Bartlett leads it off here in the second. Bartlett, Kapler, and Ben Zobrist. Bartlett in this series has only one hit, and that was the single that he had back in the first, but he's walked 5 times. He's on base a ton in this series. Hammered in the air toward left field, right at Guillen. One gone.
But even when Bartlett has been on, and he has not been able to run, he has not been able to steal. Gerald Laird not playing today, but Laird has been somewhat of an MVP in this series, shutting down that Rays running game without question.
Which brings up an interesting question, especially in postseason. If you have a guy like Verlander, who will obviously throw in the playoffs, you've got a guy like Washburn, you've got a catcher like Laird, that will tend to maybe shut down some opponents' running game, especially if you see the Angels in the playoffs.
Yeah, because a lot of times that's how games are won in the postseason. Usually not a whole lot of slugging going on, because most teams that get into October baseball, they've all got really good pitching staffs. So if you do have the element of speed, as the two teams the Tigers have seen this week, Tampa and LA, it helps.
Gabe Kapler walked, scored a run in the first. Kapler, the former Tiger, actually retired from his playing days a couple of years ago and was managing in the minor leagues in 2007. He was managing A-ball for the Red Sox for a year and then decided I can still play. And he's right. Popped this one up right side of the infield for Cabrera. 2 gone.
Well, you want to make sure you get it all out of your system. When you shut it down, you want to make sure that you can't play anymore.
Well, there have been guys that have tried to shut it down but just can't and have come back. There's a guy playing football that can't seem to shut it down. He's going to start in Minnesota this year, Brett Favre. There's a strike called on Ben Zobrist. In fact, Troy Percival, when he was a Tiger, decided to shut it down, but then came back and pitched for Joe Madden, his good friend. But it looks like his career is over now. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Zobrist. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Hit the other way. Polanco to his feet. Got him. What a play by Paulie. He's done that all season long. And the glove on display again here today. Taking a base hit away from Ben Zobrist.
Well, Polanco usually knows exactly where to play the defenders, especially with a guy on the mound that has good control like Washburn. You can cheat a little bit to your left, as he did there in one step and a dive, and he gets up and makes a very nice play.
Brandon Inge, meanwhile, leading it off here in the second. Tigers down 6-2.
He comes in with the highest fielding percentage at that position in this league, and he's pretty much been there since putting on a Tigers uniform. He's been steady, just steady.
It'll be Inge, Thomas, and Avila here in the second, facing James Shields. Breaking ball, got away from him, 2-1.
And that's what Tony La Russa saw in Polanco when he got his first chance to play in the big leagues. He wasn't very fast, wasn't very strong, didn't have much of a name, but La Russa watched the way that he played in spring training, and he told his bosses, I can win with this guy.
Hammer to center, but right there is Upton.
And sometimes that's all it takes, is one guy to like you.
Well, I think you hit a key word there, and you said positioning, because sometimes you don't have to have the greatest range. Cal Ripken has said many times in his career, I'm not the guy with the best range at this position, but I just know where to position players.
Just smart, too. I see Polanco talking to Rafael Belliard before every series, and Rafael's always got some charts in his hand, and he'll tell Polanco exactly how they're shading different players, what certain players are doing. And Polanco, very smart, heads-up player.
Here's Cleat Thomas. Thomas 3 for 3 in the ball game yesterday. He skies this one to right, and it's going to drop into the glove of Zobrist. 2 gone. We'll bring up Alex Avila. Avila at 303 made his big league debut on August 6th and promptly picked up 2 hits in his major league debut. And the last Tiger to do that, 2 or more hits in his first big league game, Brent Cleveland, back in the 06 season. Speaking of Cleveland, when I saw him come up the first time, I thought he was going to be a big league star, and he still may have a big league career. He's down to the minor leagues again this year for the Tigers. Great arm, powerful bat. The 0-1. 0-2.
He's got some plus tools, that is for sure. He's got a lot of tools that make scouts go, wow, when you're grading out potential big league players.
Hammer to right, base hit. Avila has a 2-out single.
He's got a pretty swing. 0-2, stays back nice and relaxed with the body. And when your body's relaxed, it allows your hands to get in a very nice hitting position. And that's not a bad pitch by Shields, but again, the youngster Avila with 2 strikes, not looking to do a whole lot.
Alex has the Tigers' fourth hit of the game, and that'll bring up Santiago, the number 9 hitter. Strike 1.
I was talking to Alex before the game today, and I saw him getting in the car with his dad after the game yesterday. And I said, Dad took you out to dinner? He says, no, my mom cooked yesterday. They had a family gathering. I said, you've got the best of both worlds.
Doesn't he, though?
You're playing in the big leagues, and your dad works here, so your mom's always here, which means you're always eating good. And he said his mom, Yamil, is a tremendous cook. I can imagine.
The 0-1 is down low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Always
nothing like mama's cooking.
No.
Huh?
No, you can go out, you can get a nice meal at a lot of fancy restaurants, but mama's cooking's the best.
Yeah. Even sometimes the wife will say, well, is that as good as your mom's? And you just say,
it sure is, honey. That's into center field, and final out of the inning. No runs, a single, 1 left, 2 in the books. Had the home run, the game winner yesterday, making a winner out of Justin Verlander, who after the game told us he had visions of CC robbing another one.
What was going through my mind, honestly, was I saw the same play CC made in the All-Star game. He robbed it. So I was just hoping it wasn't close enough where he could get a glove on it. And, I knew the ball was carrying that way all day. The wind was blowing that way. So, I think I was blowing.
Unfortunately, Carl Crawford could not get to that one. The wind blew it out, and the Tigers got themselves a win.
There's Carl Crawford with the afternoon off. MVP in the All-Star game this year.
Well, here's Pat Burrell to lead things off in the top of the third. 6-2 is our score. Out in front of the off-speed pitch, 0-1. Washburn responded with a 1-2-3 second after giving up 6 in the first. The 0-1 pitch. And when you talk about exciting players and getting back to Carl Crawford, he may be at the top of that list or near the top of exciting players and what he can do in big league baseball.
He can change the game on both sides of the ball, and those guys are rare these days.
He is a triples machine, which is obviously one of the most exciting plays in the game. Steals bases. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Pat Burrell, who doubled in 2 back in the first, and he waves and misses. Not this time. Washburn strikes him out, 1 away. Well, this game today is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. That is Washburn's first strikeout of the afternoon. Here is Evan Longoria. Ball 1. Longoria had one of the 3 consecutive doubles that the Rays got in that first inning. Hammers this one to third. Tough hop for Brandon. 2 gone.
That boy Longoria hits the ball extremely hard. 1 hopper right at Brandon. Plenty of time to set his feet. And Cabrera has to come off the bag momentarily before shuffling his feet to get back there. But what a talented player number 3 is for Tampa Bay Rays. Impact player.
Well, 8 in a row retired now by Washburn. Check swing, strike called on Carlos Pena, who homered. 2-run shot in the first. Pena's 38th home run leads the American League. Teixeira behind him in second place with 32. Swing and a miss. Did you know that Aaron Hill has 31 home runs?
I saw that a couple days ago.
How did that happen?
Well, doesn't he also lead the American League in total bases?
Yes, he does with 276. Quietly having a spectacular year.
He's healthy this year. They have always thought that Hill was a really good player in Toronto.
Just missed it there.
Even with a left-hander on the mound, the Tigers have 3 infielders defensively on the right side of second base. You've got the shortstop, the second base, and then, of course, Cabrera. Anything through that side of the infield is going to have to be an absolute bullet.
Swing and a miss. Ties up Pena that time. A 10-pitch inning for Washburn. His second strikeout. They go 1-2-3 again. came in. That's a promise. And by AT&T, your world delivered. Curtis Granderson caught the first pitch, the ceremonial first pitch thrown by John Cena today. WWE wrestler in town tonight at Joe Louis Arena. Grandy with a big old bear hug for Cena.
No, he didn't catch it. He dove for it.
Did he? It wasn't quite on the mark, was it?
It was a little wild. Just a bit outside.
Grandy, we understand, is a big WWE fan. So I'm sure he went up to Van Slyke before the game and said, hey, do me a favor here. Let me catch this one. Because Andy usually catches those ceremonial first pitches. Granderson leading it off here in the third. Then Polanco and Guillen. Tigers down 6-2. Granderson fly to center back in the first. And he lost one foul back out of play. 0-2 the count stays.
Well, the Tigers know for the most part when Shields does get ahead of them, he's going to throw that changeup. He's got a good one. He likes it a lot, and he's fearless with it.
1-2. Pulled to second and caught there by Highbar. One out.
Hey fans, buy Comerica Park a party suite for select games in September and receive a $300 food credit plus free suite for another game. For more information, call 313-471-BALL or log on to tigers.com for the party suites.
Here's Polanco with one away. Rolls this one to third. Fair ball off the glove. Levan Longoria into shallow left. Polanco holding up after a wide turn. Well, he's aboard with one out.
On that particular play, if you're Longoria, you have to make up your mind very quickly whether you're going to back up and try to play the good hop or whether you're going to come in and get a short hop. He elected to come in for the short hop. He didn't pick it cleanly, and therefore Polanco should be given a base hit.
I can see how that play should be made at this level, but I don't think you could argue with a base hit here.
Well, if he backs up one step, he gets himself a better hop, but he must have felt like with Polanco running on that particular instance, he needed to charge that one to get the out at first.
Base hit is the ruling. 2 for 2 for Polanco. Here's Carlos Guillen.
Carlos Guillen homered the last time he was up. It was a 2-run shot to left field on a first pitch fastball. That time Shields started him off with that powered changeup that he has. Fading changeup.
You're right about one thing, though. I'm trying to remember the last time Guillen hit one the other way down that left field line. His are usually pulled into the right field seats or to center. Ooh, time is called about as late as you could possibly get it. And meanwhile, Shields did what I guess they teach you not to do, and that's to kind of hold the baseball.
Yeah, they tell you to throw it.
Now the 0-1. Right back up the middle. Into center. It'll bleed through, a base hit. Rays got a few of those in the first inning. Tigers now get a bloop single, and they'll bring up Cabrera.
It's good base running here by Polanco as well. You freeze on the line drive. You don't know whether they're going to catch it or not. You're only trying to advance the next 90 feet anyway, so and he wasn't over aggressive.
Well, Cabrera, who singled in the first inning, and the Tigers now have put up 6 hits. Ball 1. One swing of the bat away from climbing to within 1 run.
Shields will give up some hits. He has now given up a total of 199 of them.
Ground ball left side. Longoria fires to second. There's one. Here comes the relay. There's 2. It's a double play. 5-4-3 to kill the rally. We played 3 innings here at Comerica. position player to win the American League MVP award. We're talking about how Cabrera, if he can have a big month of September, could be in that mix. Already is in that mix, I think. But it was the last Tigers position player to win the American League MVP. We'll get to the answer in the bottom of the fourth inning. A couple of pitchers should come to mind early as you think about that question. In fact, their last 4 MVPs have been pitchers.
I know Willie Hernandez was an MVP in 1984 and also won a Cy Young that year.
Yeah, it was a big year for Guillermo. Willie Ibar leads it off. Washburn misses 2-0. Newhouser won it a couple of times in the 40s. Also a pitcher, though.
They wouldn't teach that leg kick these days, would they?
No, I don't think so. You just don't see it.
It's nice to have a little deception, though.
3-0 pitch is high. Walked him on 4 straight.
Well, if you tuned in late, this is how they put up a 6-run spot on Washburn early. A bloop single, another bloop double. That drove in a couple. Another bloop double. And then a blast. 3 bloops and a blast. Carlos Pena taking Washburn deep. First pitch swinging. 2-run shot. 6 runs on the board early.
Here's Deoner Navarro. Washburn had retired 9 straight and then the walk, and now he's falling behind Navarro 1-0. Deoner lined out his first time up. Navarro not quite having the season he had a year ago when he was an all-star for the Tampa Bay Rays. In fact, at this point last year he was hitting .290. This year his average right now is .219. Keeping a close eye on Ibar. Navarro, a pretty good double play candidate. He's knocked into 13 this year. Washburn, though, not what you would call a ground ball pitcher. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not a bad crowd here today for a Monday afternoon tilt at the ballpark to close out this series. Tigers reaching the 2 million mark again this year. There's a bouncer foul, third base side.
Monday day games are rare, and we are the only game being played today.
Tampa will be leaving town after the game, so they get a day game to travel. They'll be headed back to Florida.
Nice gesture on our part for Tampa. They got a big series coming up against the Boston Red Sox.
That's lined to left, out of the reach of Santiago. A base hit for Deoner Navarro. 2 on, nobody out. As we mentioned, Tampa right now in wild card contention. Tigers trying to hold off the Twins and the White Sox, who have suddenly fallen to 6 out.
And 3 games under 500.
Kind of surprising. Talking to Joe Madden before the game today, and he said we haven't given up. And I know we've got a couple of teams ahead of us in the wild card, but they're also playing some teams ahead of them coming up. So they'll have an opportunity to delve back into it, but there's only about a month left. B.J. Upton is 0 for 1. He grounded out. That was back in the first. 1-1 on Upton. BJ came into this game 4th in the American League in strikeouts. He had fanned 138 times this year. Of course, his teammate Carlos Pena is the league leader. This is a Tampa team that has struck out quite a bit this season.
He had too many of these hitter-friendly counts this afternoon for Washburn. He has fallen behind quite a few of these Tampa hitters.
And now he falls behind 3-1 on the number 9 hitter, BJ Upton.
And they are doing a pretty nice job of laying off that changeup in fastball counts. And a pretty good game plan today put together by their hitting coach, Steve Henderson.
High fly ball. Right field and hit well. Thomas to the track in front of the wall. Runners will tag. And the throw comes back into second base with Ibar moving to third. First and third now. There is activity in the Tigers bullpen. Ryan Perry heating up. So Washburn now facing the top of the order, Jason Bartlett. One for two for Bartlett, single and a run scored. He's only hit this series. .404 this year with runners in scoring position. Not only leads the American League, but it leads the National League as well. This guy really has found a home in Tampa and rounded into a very nice player. He's third in the American League in hitting. He's showing bunt. 2-0.
That would have been, if he would have bunted the ball, a safety squeeze. And that's where, if you're the base runner at third, you're anticipating that Bartlett might do something, because you've been made aware of that fact. But you don't take off until he gets the ball on the ground, unlike a suicide squeeze,
where you're going no matter.
Suicide squeeze, you're waiting until the pitcher gets in an area with his arm slot where he can't change where he wants to throw the ball, and then you simply take off, and the bunter just simply puts the ball in play somewhere. And usually, if it works that way, you get a run out of it.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Usually pitchers, when they do throw over to first base with the intent of picking off a guy, they will throw over there when the runner's a little slower. You usually don't pick off true base stealers, but you can catch a guy like Navarro napping over there and quite possibly pick him off.
Again showing bunt, and again Ibar coming down the line. 3-1. Grounded foul. On a play like that, safety squeeze, it's got to be hard sometimes for the batter to keep the thought in his mind that if it's not a strike, I don't have to bunt here, because when you know a play is on, your mind is telling you, let's just get this bunt down, try and get a run in. But if it's not a strike, no need to lay it down, or at least offer at it.
That's why, as a manager, there's certain guys that you can do this with, and then there's certain guys where you just simply have to put a suicide squeeze on if that's your thought process.
That's hit the third on a line. Both runners get back. 2 gone. Soft line drive to Brandon Ings. That will leave it up to Gabe Kapler. Walking a pop-up, 0 for 1. Ball 1 to Kapler, who, aside from leaving the game as a player for a year to manage back in 07 in A-ball, he also spent some time in Japan very briefly at the start of the 05 season, and then was let go and signed with Boston. That's the organization that he started managing with. 2 balls and no strikes. He was a native of California. Kapler broke into the Tigers organization. Two and 0. It's another one of these hitters counts you were talking about as Washburn falls behind.
Too many of these today.
Swing and a miss. Washburn has been behind 7 times early on in this game. And a swing and a high drive deep into left field. Guillen is waiting at the warning track. It died out there in left, and that's all for the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Huff, Hinge, Thomas coming up. Last Tigers position player to win the American League MVP. And you got to go all the way back to Hank Greenberg back in 1940, who batted make it 340 that year with 41 home runs.
He could hit. He could hit.
Last Tiger position player to win the MVP. Cabrera, you would think, would have an opportunity this year. Depending on how the Tigers do and how he finishes.
Still real good friends with his son today, Steve Greenberg.
Aubrey Huff and Brandon Inge and Cleet Thomas. Ball outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Huff fly to right field back in the 1st. Bouncing ball to first base. 1 gone. Shields over there to cover. So Shields got himself a big double play ball to end the 3rd, and now a ground out here in the 4th. We'll bring up Brandon Inge. Inge with 25 home runs, 3 for 10 in the series Actually 3 for 11 now. He's 0 for 1 today. Hit a ball hard to center field his first time up. One ball to no strikes. Inge homered against Garza in the first game in the series. A solo shot. And that home run, you might remember, is the one that he promised he would hit for a young boy by the name of Noah, who was a patient that Brandon was visiting in the hospital. Noah asked him to hit a home run that night, and he did in his first at bat. And Inge said, "Did you guys have the cameras on me when I got back to the bench?" I said, "Well, you know, we saw the initial shots. Everybody was high-fiving." And he goes, "Anything after that?" I said, "No." He goes, "Good." Because I was actually crying on the bench. It was such an emotional experience for him to actually be able to hit a home run for a young boy that had asked him to.
Noah is probably watching as we speak. He loves the Tigers. And Brandon was talking about how emotional that not only that home run was, but just the fact that he had a chance to go to Noah's house and visit with him and play with him on the floor for a couple of hours.
Well, Brandon recently talked to us about visiting all of the kids at Mott Hospital, and it's something that he really takes great pride in.
These kids that watch the game, you know, they would love to be out on the field. Obviously, they can't. They're battling hard times, and you know, Mott Children's Hospital is one of them, and other hospitals around the country. But so I give them an opportunity when they can sign my arm, so that at least I will be out on the field, that they can see their name out on the arm. It gives them something special to watch for, and it kind of makes them, I don't know, makes the game a little bit more important for them.
There's a foul ball down the left field line off the bat of Clee Thomas. Inge has actually done that a couple of times for a couple of different kids this year, and boy, on both occasions he has delivered with a home run. It's really kind of amazing. Because as you know, Rod, it's not like you walk up to the plate and, okay, I'll just hit a home run right here.
No, it's not that easy. And it's great that it's worked out that way for Brandon and also Noah.
No balls, one strike on Cleet Thomas. Flied out to right field his first time. Takes inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Shields does not throw a straight fastball. His fastball anywhere from 89 to 92. But it's got a lot of late life to it. A lot of good moving, real good moving fastball.
Notice that Thomas is wearing 2 batting gloves today. He normally wears just 1. I asked Cleet recently about that. He said, "I hate wearing batting gloves, but I have to wear 1 on my bottom hand because it was always slipping off the bat. But I hate it. Normally I wear none." Well, early in his career he wore none, but today he's got 2 of them on.
He sure does. I wonder if he wore them yesterday. He had 3 hits yesterday. If he had them on yesterday, you knew he'd wear them again today. Players are superstitious like that.
Missing away, and now he's ahead in the count, 3 balls, 1 strike. Thomas had 3 hits, which matched a career high for the young outfielder. One on, 1 out. Tigers down 6-2 here in the 4th. There's a ground ball hit to the right side. Nice play at first base by Pena. They will get the out at second. Whoa, was that close? And what a play there for Bartlett to hang on to the bag. Looked like he might have pulled him off, but not so.
It's a nice play by Pena. He comes down and throws in one motion, and boy, what an athletic move there by Bartlett to keep that left foot on the bag, even though reaching across his body. C.B. Buckner right there with the emphatic out call from C.B.
So with 2 outs, here is Alex Avila.
Tigers have been good in these types of situations this year, and they have scored 40% of their runs after 2 were out, which is not an easy thing to do, but they don't give up.
That's a lot with 2 outs.
40%.
Avila had a base hit in the second, a solid single to right. It snapped an 0 for 11. Trying to keep this inning going here with Thomas at first base. Ball got away from Pena.
Well, you knew Boston would be really good at scoring some of their runs after 2 were out, but Kansas City, kind of surprising team on that list, along with Oakland.
Kansas City's really surprising.
Speaking of Kansas City, that guy Greinke,
it's pretty good, huh?
He's kind of catapulted himself back into the top, I think, of that Cy Young race right now.
Yeah, that's why in the month of August you can kind of, speculate, but really it depends on what happens the next 4 weeks. And Greinke is putting into overdrive, it appears.
He threw a one-hitter yesterday and retired the last 22 hitters that he faced, and that was coming off a 15 strikeout performance the start before that.
Awfully impressive.
15 strikeouts 2 starts ago. Then he comes back and throws a one-hitter.
Still in his mid-20s, isn't he? Greinke, I think he's like 25.
He's right around that area. Yeah. JV's got some work to do. He's in the conversation, but that's what you have to do late in the year. You have to make people stand up and pay attention.
Two and two. And Alex Avila. Snap throw, and Thomas is back. Well, if the rotations stay the same Wednesday when the Tigers are in Kansas City on the next trip, it would be Greinke Verlander. That would be, as you like to say, must see.
Heavyweight bout. Must see TV.
Swing and a miss. Avila goes down, and so do the Tigers. They get a walk, leave a man. 4 in the books here at Comerica. It is 6-2 in favor of the Rays. Back from a 6-run deficit early. Jared Washburn gave up 6 in that first inning, albeit a few of those runs coming in on bloop hits, but the Tigers got a couple of quick runs back. James Shields, though, quickly got it straightened out for them.
Well, Shields is an awfully good pitcher, and the Tigers have got their work cut out for them after falling behind by 6. But you got to give Tampa some credit. Washburn came in with outstanding numbers against them in his career, but they figured out a way to put some runs on the board early.
Yeah, the Tigers got a couple of quick runs back on the Guillen home run. Meanwhile, Washburn has kind of settled into this one a little bit okay. Hopefully the 6 runs not too much to overcome, though, for Detroit.
Washburn has gone to a few of his secondary pitches here lately, and he's fooled some guys. He's had some guys out in front. Therefore, he's gotten himself quite a few pop-ups and a few flyouts as well.
And there's a pop-up to start the inning as Sobrist is retired. Santiago making the play. 1 gone. top 5 in a 6-2 game. Final game in this 4-game series. Tigers trying to win their 6th consecutive home series. Pat Burrell has a double, 2 RBIs and a strikeout. Ball high, 2-0.
Burrow's got that long swing. You can, if you want to, tie him up inside with a fastball, but if you go soft, you got to go down with it.
Drill to left field, and Guillen will get to the warning track and haul it in. 2 gone. Here's an opportunity for you to vote for your Tigers player of the game today. You can text Tigers followed by a space and then the player's uniform number to 37338 or FSDET on your cell phone. Text the Tigers player of the game. Who is your selection today?
I guess Carlos Guillen would have to be the leader in the clubhouse as we speak with a 2-run home run.
Here is Evan Longoria. I would agree with that. Breaking ball floats in for strike 1 on Longoria. 91 RBIs this year, which is good for 6th in the American League, and he hammers one to left. 2-out single. Rays have their 7th hit of the day.
That's one of the things that makes Longoria impressive for a young guy. Even though that breaking ball was 70 miles an hour, his body was out in front, but if your hands stay back, you still got a chance. It's all about keeping those hands back.
Here's Carlos Pena. Inside, 1-0. Two-run shot for Carlos back in the 1st inning. He was 1 for 12 in the series before that home run. Checked his swing, but he went 1 ball, 1 strike.
There have been a lot of good hitters that have been kept in check in this series. They have kept Cabrera in check. And we have talked about the fact that Pena and Bartlett have done very little. So good pitching will always shut down good hitting. It really doesn't matter where you're at, what level you're at. And that guy on the mound can shut down good hitters. And we've seen some good pitching in this series.
To center field, Granderson. It's going to drop and roll by him. That thing sliced away from him all the way to the wall, and this is going to get another run in.
That was wicked. Absolutely wicked. I don't know how Pena hit that thing, but if he plays any golf whatsoever, if you can play that shot, you'd be pretty good. Granderson took off for this ball like it was headed to left center field, and this ball just kind of cut away from Granderson, and he could not make the play. I could see that ball moving as it was getting close to Granderson.
Double and an RBI, 7-2 ball game, and Pena gets his 3rd RBI. Here's Ibar. I can't remember the last time I've seen a line drive out to center field have that much action on it.
I was thinking the same thing.
It looked like it was going to the gap in left center field, and then it just hooked right. Killed it. The 0-1.
That's an idea of how hard he did hit it. He crushed that thing.
Eight hits for the Tampa Rays now. 5 of them have been for extra bases. They picked up the 3 doubles and the homer in the 1st inning. And now a double here in the 5th. 2-out run for Tampa. Off the end of the bat towards second base, and that's going to be easy for Polanco. They get another run, make it 7-2. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Double in the top of this fifth inning, and of course Pena has the longest home run ever here. Remember that one? Back in 2005 against Seattle, 461 feet was the estimate.
Oh my goodness.
Now, having said that, I'm not sure he hit that ball a whole lot harder than the one that he just hit. That one just carried.
Yes.
That's where it landed back in 05.
It's up there in the standing room only section.
Santiago to lead it off, showing bunt. He'll be followed by Granderson and Polanco.
Well, Shields definitely has some runs to work with today. And coming into play, second worst run support in the American League. Just over 3.5 runs a game support for Shields. He's got twice as many as that.
And his teammate Matt Garza has the lowest.
I know Jackson is on that list in the top 5, I'm sure.
Shields in his career has been much better at home than he has been on the road, despite what the numbers today say. His ERA on the road over a run higher lifetime than at Tropicana Field. 3-2 on Santiago.
He's got a little Felix Hernandez in his windup where he kind of, once he gets to that balance point, kind of turns his back to the hitter, and then just comes at you with elbows and arms.
There's a strikeout of Santiago. 1 out.
Hey fans, be at Comerica Park tomorrow when the Tigers host the Indians at 7:05. The first 7,500 kids age 14 and under receive a back-to-school aluminum lunchbox. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com. I used to have one of those.
Which one would you have on the cover?
I had so many over the years when I was a youngster, but I'm thinking it was probably Superman and Batman and Flintstones and people like that.
Mine was G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might have had one of those.
But pause is better than all those.
The sandwich didn't get messed up in those.
No, it didn't.
Didn't get smashed.
Throw a thermos in there. 2-0 pitch is high. 3 balls, no strikes.
And then we got too cool. We had to have paper bags.
Oh yeah. Once you reach a certain age.
Yeah.
Three balls, no strikes. There's a strike call. 3-1. High fly ball. Deepest part of the ballpark. Right center, and it's going to be run down out there in the triangle area. And there are 2 gone.
Second time Curtis has gotten himself a really nice fastball count, 3 balls and 1 strike, and has flown out.
I guess technically the deepest part is to dead center at 420, but it's way back out there as well in right center.
It's a lot of room here at Comerica Park, one of the more spacious outfields in all of baseball.
There's Polanco. Placido 2 for 2. Rolled toward the shortstop. Bartlett will scoop it, and throw it, and get it. Tigers go 1, 2, 3. We're on our way to the 6th inning at Comerica Park. 7-2 Rays. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. 7-2 ball game as we travel to the 6th inning here this afternoon. Rays on top of the Tigers. Final game in the series. And Deanna Navarro leads it off, followed by B.J. Upton and Jason Bartlett. High fly ball to left field. Camping under it, Carlos Guillen. 1 out. Navarro now 1 for 3. He's going to bring up Upton. BJ with a ground ball and a fly ball. 8 hits today for the Tampa Bay Rays. And one of those hits was a home run by Carlos Pena. His home run was the 42nd of the month for Tampa here in August, which establishes a club record. Nice play by Santiago off to his left. Upton is gone, 2 away. And Upton now is the only Ray that has not reached base in this game.
He's had a couple of good at-bats, though. He took cleats at the base of the wall his last time up, and that was an absolute missile. Unfortunately for Upton, right at Santiago. But he's had a couple of good at-bats.
So here's the top of the order. Jason Bartlett. Ball 1. Ground ball foul just outside of the bag. Well, today's the last day of August. September will be here tomorrow, and that's when most people say that's when the pennant race really starts. That's when you start scoreboard watching and all that stuff. But I think we've been watching the scoreboard for a couple of weeks at least now. That's low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, really, if you're And from top to bottom, Mr. Illich on down to Jim Leland, the players, you just want a chance in the month of September. You want to be in the hunt.
High fly ball hit a ton to left, way back, and this ball is way gone. Yikes, Jason Bartlett has just hit his 12th. Another home run today for the Rays. That is their second of the game. It's going to make it 8-2.
That has been the Achilles heel for Washburn since coming to Detroit. That is now the 11th home run he has given up in 6 Tiger starts.
Bartlett gets his 59th RBI. Rays pad the lead. They're up by 6 again. Kepler has a walk and a run score. .408 feet distance on that home run. He cleared the bullpens and all the way to the seats. .3-0. Kepler trying to keep it going for Ben Zobrist. So Bartlett continues his phenomenal season. He came in 3rd in the league in hitting. Here's the 3-0 pitch. 2-out homer and a 2-out walk. And Jim Leland will make his way out to the mound. He is signaled to the bullpen. So Ryan Perry will be coming into the ball game. And that's going to signal the end for Jared Washburn, who didn't have it today. Although he was the victim of some blue hits in the first. He gives up 8 runs. Wall side windows pitching change. We'll be back. Jared Washburn out of the game. Washburn gave up 6 in the first inning, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, and the home run ball, as you were alluding to, Rod, has been really kind of surprising with this new team.
Well, it's been the biggest difference in the numbers and why some of the numbers have turned around. He just has not worked as efficiently on the corners and for the Tigers as he did when he was pitching for the Seattle Mariners. Therefore, not only giving up home runs, but giving up lots of hits as well. And meanwhile, this guy has not been giving up a lot of hits. Perry has kind of settled into a real nice role in the bullpen for Jim Leland, and has handled every role that Jim calls upon him to do, whether it be in a long relief role or whether it be very short, needing a strikeout.
He's a potentially very intriguing and exciting piece for the future, that's for sure. Zobrist is hitting with 2 outs and a man at first base. Zobrist is 1 for 3, double, and an RBI. 1 ball, 1 strike. Washburn goes 5 2/3 here this afternoon. Handing the ball over to Ryan Perry. Hammered in the air toward left field and hit well. Guillen is on the move to the track, to the wall, leaps and makes the catch. Carlos has been busy out there today. Nice running play in left center. They'll settle for 1 run in the homer by Bartlett.
Time for Coors Light Freeze, Cam. Couple of innings ago, Ben Zobrist trying to find a seam between first and second. Polanco stretches out, makes a great diving play to rob Zobrist of a base hit. Coors Light Freeze, Cam, brought to you by your Frost Brew Coors Light.
Got a new second baseman now for Tampa Bay. It's Sakinori Iwamura. He will take over for Willie Ibar. So put him at second base and slot him into the 7th spot in the lineup. Meanwhile, Carlos Guillen will lead it off as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Shields has not allowed a run since giving up the 2-run homer to Guillen in the first. Pops up the first pitch, going to head back to the seat. 0-1. Guillen, Cabrera, and Huff here in the 6th. Tigers have Cleveland coming to town tomorrow evening. 3-game series. Edwin Jackson, Carlos Carrasco against the Tribe. The 0-1.
I usually go home and kind of prep for the next opponent when we have a day game, but I don't know any of these Cleveland Indians these days.
Well, that means you got to prep even more.
Yeah, but I mean, I have no idea.
Pull out the media guide and go to the bat, to the minor league guys. Ooh, wicked hop there, right past Pena into right field. Well, your point is well taken. They have had a somewhat of a makeover, haven't they?
They really have. I mean, basically a new bullpen. Lots of new components to their rotation. I mean, they still have the Cabreras and Peraltas of the world, Hafner, but they have traded a lot of pieces away.
Third hit of the day for Guillen. He's 3 for 3. Popped up a mile high off the bat of Cabrera. Left side of the infield. Bartlett for the out.
This is where you kind of rely on the opposing team's announcers and some of your buddies that may be on that coaching staff to kind of give you the lowdown on what guys are doing and how good they are.
Carlos Carrasco making his debut against Edwin Jackson, Laffey, and Porcello. We'll see Carmona in the Thursday game. Tigers have not announced who will start that Thursday game.
We don't ever miss Fausto.
Doesn't seem like it. Big swing there by Huff.
Nice changeup. Nice arm speed. Same arm slot as the fastball. That is Shields' best pitch. That changeup.
Off the end of the bat, foul. 0-2. Shields has that odd crouch that he goes into only when he's in the stretch. A little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That is a bit different.
The 1-2 is outside, 2-2. You would think that a move like that would expend a lot of extra energy, but it's something that he feels comfortable with. I remember when Mike Messina was pitching, he had that deep bend over that he would do.
He didn't do it that last time, though.
No, this Shields, no. Let's see if he does it this time. There he goes.
He does it that time.
To center field. And caught. Oh, and dropped by Upton. Guillen's going to third. And he's in there standing up. He got spun around, but then just dropped it.
Well, it's the second time we've seen a ball hit to center field that's had some movement to it. And BJ turned the wrong way initially, but he recovered in plenty of time to make the play. And the ball hit him right in the glove and fell right out. And that's one of the beauties of having an athlete and someone that has this kind of ability to run down balls in the outfield. BJ will tell you all day, every day, he should have made that play.
We'll see if this opens the door a little bit for the Tigers to kind of crawl back into this thing. They're down by 6. E8. An error charge to BJ Upton. Here's Brandon in. Ball 1. First error of the game for either side. Popped up foul, back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strikeout Inge. Brandon today with a line out and a walk. Hit went hard to the center fielder Upton back in the second. He went. Jerry Davis called it a strike. Shields has had only 1 1-2-3 inning. A little too far for Brandon. Swing and a miss, and Inge is down on strikes.
I just got a text message from a good buddy of mine, and he told me that the reason why Shields does this little bend is to check to see how big the lead is the runner on first has.
Can't he just look?
Well, I guess he could. But he kind of bends over, and as he bends over, he kind of looks over there to see exactly what's going on. He may not do it here because Pena's playing behind Huff now, but I noticed the previous couple, he was taking a little quick peek over there.
Foul back out of play. Isn't technology wonderful?
It's a beautiful thing, especially when you got somebody that's watching. Chris Singleton sent me that text message.
Thank you, Chris. Former big leaguer.
Absolutely. Still doing lots of television work and very good at it.
The 0-1 pitch. Hammer to center field. That's a base hit. That'll get a run in. Guillen will come around to score. Boy, Clee Thomas had himself a pretty good series. That's his 4th hit. And his 36th RBI as well. Tigers get one back. It's 8-3.
Talking to Jim before the game and just kind of trying to get a feel for how he feels about his team. He says he likes it, but the only thing that he worries about is whether his offense will consistently play well enough for them to get to where they want to get to and ultimately finish it off.
Well, we know they'll pitch, and well, we assume they'll pitch because they've done it to this point with a month to go. But boy, the offensive consistency, if they could find any, would really make it so much easier in September.
They've got the pieces to do so. And they've got a lot of quality hitters. A lot of quality hitters. And it starts with Granderson. You got Polanco. You got Guillen, of course, Cabrera. Maglio not playing today, but he has had a really good August. And you need those contributions out of these kids like Avila and Thomas.
Carlos has been the big man today with 3 hits and a 2-run shot. Thomas has just added an RBI single. Tigers have 8 hits. We're making the point a little bit earlier that it's not really been a cakewalk here for Shields. He's had to deal with a couple of runners most innings, or at least one. Strikeout Avila, 1-2. Alex called up from AA Erie, and we mentioned a little bit earlier the call-ups that will be with the club beginning tomorrow. Brent DeLugich will be getting his first big league opportunity. Shortstop in the minor leagues. Down he goes, and a wave and a miss to end the inning. 4 strikeouts for Shields. Tigers get a run back. We go to the 7th. Is 8-3 in favor of Tampa Bay. Final game in the series. We're talking about some of the call-ups. So the clubhouse is going to be a little bit tighter in the coming days.
We're going to have to find us a nickname for DeLugich. Is that how you say it?
DeLugich, correct.
I'm going to find him one. He's got a little bit of a tongue twister.
Wilkin Ramirez coming back up. Dusty Ryan, Casey Fiend. Bondo coming back. They were saying Bondo was throwing about 95 again.
I've heard that his fastball is back. And Bondo needs that separation between the fastball and that lethal slider that he has had since coming to the major leagues.
Dave Dombrowski getting some fortification for his bench and also the clubhouse.
Jim Leland will continue to play his stars. There's no debate about that. But it's nice to have some options, have some extra arms, have some guys that can pinch run for you, guys that can do some different things for you.
Leland also brought up a good point. One of the things that he doesn't like about September call-ups is it gives teams that really didn't have that depth all season long now maybe that extra pinch runner or pinch hitter or extra arm in the bullpen, which could make a difference in a pennant stretch game. Teams that aren't necessarily, in the race, that might have some extra guys and affect some games that way. but they all can call players up. And the Tigers will have their share. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Pat Burrell, who leads it off, then Longoria, then Pena.
So he feels like maybe there should be no September call-ups?
Well, I don't know that he feels there should be none, but some teams bring up a ton. And, of course, the Tigers have a pretty good amount here.
Right.
He just thinks that when you call up a lot of people, it changes the look of certain teams that won't be in the playoffs. And it makes it more difficult sometimes for teams that will be or that are fighting for playoff spots. That's just his feeling. Here's the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Burrell had a 2-run double in the first. Ryan Perry had to come on in the 6th inning in relief of Jared Washburn, who started the game. And he walked him. Leadoff man is on.
Hey fans, visit the official online shop of the Detroit Tigers at Tigers.com and browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers gear, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and a whole lot more. And get all your gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop.
8-3 game. Perry facing Longoria. Couple of hits today, plus an RBI for Evan Longoria. Homered off Verlander. In the ball game yesterday, it was his first home run in 19 games. One and one.
That's the pitch that is going to separate Ryan as his career progresses. A 1-0 slide piece with tremendous location.
Well, they were talking about the fact that when Ryan first went down that he had to improve his slider. Typically, they talk about improving the pitch in terms of the bite or the location, because the location on that one was fabulous.
Probably the break on it, just the consistency with that pitch, and also the confidence in throwing that ball as Longoria singles sharply into left field. And Pat Burrell going to challenge the arm of Carlos Guillen.
He is. Oh, he's safe. Just got in there. Here comes Leland. He's going to argue this one. I don't know. It looked like he might have got in. Leland out there to make sure. Wow, that was close.
Good hustle by Burrell. It looked like Inge tagged him on the left knee, and the right foot was already on the bag. Right here. Exmo will really tell you.
Missed the tag.
A good call. But just to finish that thought on Perry and the slider with him. Also, when he was here earlier in the year, at the beginning, he was falling behind a lot of guys with his fastball. And then he was throwing lots of fastballs and fastball counts, and he was getting hit around pretty good. By him going down and developing the confidence with the slider, which will allow him to throw that pitch in 1-0 counts, 2-1 counts, makes it a much more valuable pitch for him. We saw Longoria swing at the 1-0 slider before he singled sharply into the outfield.
Hammered to right. Pena is going to drive in another run. A solid single into right field, and Carlos Pena has himself a 4 RBI day.
Because it really doesn't matter how hard you throw up here. If guys know all you have is a fastball, they will hit it extremely hard. How about Pena? He jumped all over this fastball. Good balance, good hip rotation, tremendous bat speed. Boy, has he turned himself into a nice player.
Well, the 4 RBIs today gives him 96, so he's climbing toward 100. He'll get there with ease if he stays healthy. Iwamura gets his first at bat to see if it's deep enough to score the run. Catch is made by Granderson. The throw coming to the plate is not in time. Both runners move up. Longoria scores. And it's a 10-3 game. So after losing a heartbreaker yesterday, the Tampa Bay Rays have come out stinging the baseball today with 11 hits.
It's good base running by Carlos Pena there as well. After he saw that ball was going to go all the way to the plate, he was able to tag up from first and get himself into scoring position.
There's Deoner Navarro. Single for 3 for Navarro. Made the All-Star team last year for Tampa, the first Rays catcher ever to play in an All-Star game. This year, though, the numbers have not been nearly as good. 0-2. They went out and made a trade for Greg Zaun as well to bolster their catching core. Fouled away.
There's something wrong with the front shoulder of Navarro. This has been 2 pitches in a row now where he's taken a swing and reached for that right shoulder. That was the first one. Then his very next swing, he did the exact same thing. I don't know if it is the shoulder, but something is clearly bothering Navarro. To the tune to where the manager Joe Madden noticed it as well.
Not enough to take him out of the game, though. In the air to center field, sinking. Granderson plays it on a hop. It's another hit for the Rays. Navarro has his second hit today.
Well, sometimes when you have a little bit of an injury, you got to smooth things out, and that's exactly what he did. That swing was much more under control.
First and third, and 12 hits for Tampa. Here's B.J. Upton. Upton is 0 for 3 today. Bouncing ball hit slowly towards short. Santiago flips to second one. Relay is going to be too late. Another run will score as Pena comes in. 11-3 Rays. Upton gets an RBI. His 41st RBI of the year. Now Jason Bartlett with 2 outs. Big day for Bartlett. He homered in his last at bat, a solo shot. He's also singled, scored a couple of runs. Strike one. Bartlett right now hitting .338, third in the league. Carl Crawford has their single season record. He hit .315 last year. There's a strike 0-2. So they've never really in their brief club history had anybody that has been this high in the batting average column this late in the season. One and two. Hammer to the gap in left center field. That's down. It's another hit for Bartlett. Upton coming to third base. He's in there standing up. Bartlett has a double. His third hit.
That's one of the reasons why Bartlett is having the kind of year that he's having. He's not giving away at bats. Even though they have an 8-run lead in the 7th inning, he is approaching this like it's a 0-0 game, and the game is on the line. Look at that concentration. Head down on the baseball, and he centers that one pretty good.
Single, double, and a homer for Bartlett today, and the hits just keep on coming now for the Rays. 13 for the game.
Tigers' pitching staff have not had many days like this, especially here at home.
Well, for a Tampa team that was struggling so badly with men in scoring position in the first 3 games in the series, they have come through big time today. 6 for 10. And another chance here for Gabe Kapler. Checked it, and he did not go. Jerry Davis would not give him the call. 1-1. There's a strike. 1-2. Tigers fell behind early in this one as the Rays put up a 6 spot in the very first inning. And they have not trailed all day. They lead 11-3. On the ground to the shortstop. Santiago has it. It's going to end the inning. But another prosperous inning. They score 3 times. We go to the stretch. It'll be Santiago, Granderson, Polanco coming up. First inning for the Rays, they scored 6 times. Carlos Guillen, big day for the Tigers. He's homered in this one. Carlos Pena, big day for the Tampa Bay Rays, and that first inning was the difference.
Well, anytime you get a team that's coming in and they're sort of struggling to score runs and they're not necessarily having a good road trip, you know sooner or later they are going to explode, and that's exactly what they did in that very first inning. There were 3 bloops, but then there was the one blast, and that's the one reason why Pena was in the batting order today against Washburn, who has dominated left-handed batters all season long.
Santiago, Granderson, and Polanco, meanwhile, here in the bottom of the 7th. Big day for Pena. Big day for Bartlett. Big day for the Rays. But outside, 1-1 on Santiago. Meanwhile, James Shields gave up 2 quick runs in that first inning, but then quieted the game down quite a bit. There's a strike, 1-2.
And the one thing that Shields did after giving up the 2 runs in the very first inning, he gave a home run to Carlos Guillen.
In the shallow left center. It's going to drop. Nice try there by Kapler.
It's a good effort in left field by Kapler, who can cover some ground out there himself. Not as much as Crawford, but he does a nice job out there. And even though they're up by 8, still leaving his feet. But just to finish that thought on Shields, it's tough a lot of times for pitchers to pitch with big leads. But you simply have to get back to the mentality that you're pitching in a 1-0 game. And I think that was his mentality after the home run to Guillen. He quickly started using all of his pitches.
Here's Granderson. Curtis 0 for 3. Now 1 for 15 against Shields in his career. He'll always hit a couple of balls hard in this game. Good pitch on the outer edge, and it's out. 0-2. Shields last year at the age of 26 was a senior member of their rotation. Same this year at the age of 27.
Shields, when he stretches, he even takes that peek over to the base runner, even though Pena playing behind Ramon Santiago.
Ground ball to short, should be to Bartlett. Iwamura, and safe at first base. Granderson beat it.
That was a tailor-made double play, but they couldn't turn it over. I think Iwamura, who's been out for a long time, came across the bag too aggressively and then really couldn't get anything on his throw. He kind of lobbed that ball to first base, and that was the difference in Granderson being safe and out. Too aggressive coming to get the ball on the feed from Bartlett, and then he simply lobbed the ball to Pena. I think he underestimated the speed of Granderson right there.
Cost him a double play. Pinch hitter now, Polanco. Will take the rest of the day off. Adam Everett will hit.
And Comcast is telling us that James Shields has touched 93 and has gone as low as 75 with that power changeup.
Oh, 0-2 on the pinch hitter Everett. Polanco had a couple of hits before departing today. Adam batting .241. Had a couple of RBIs in this series. 1-2.
Shields, one of those right-handed pitchers that's not afraid to throw his changeup to right-handed batters. And that's how much confidence he has in that pitch. Usually right-handers do not like to throw the changeup to right-handed hitters because it kind of fades down and in to most right-handed batters.
Got him, strike 3. Everett is caught looking. Five strikeouts now for Shields. He's going to bring up Guillen. Carlos, 2 singles and a homer. Guillen's home run was his 7th of the year, a 2-run shot in the first. It was his first hit in the series, and he's piled up 3 of them in this game. Here's the 100th pitch thrown by James Shields. 2 balls, no strikes on Guillen. 9 more hits allowed today by Shields despite the big spread. He does give up a lot of hits, over 200 this year, which is his second most in the American League, and he misses again. Run it to 3-0. Three and one. Tigers RBIs today, 2 for Guillen and 1 for Cleet Thomas. RBI single by Thomas in the 6th. Other than that, not a whole lot going on for Detroit offensively. High towering drive, right field, hit well to the track, to the wall, and gone. Guillen, what a day, his second home run. A 4-hit day for Carlos Guillen. Eleven to 5.
This is more like Carlos Guillen. 3 balls, 1 strike, fastball down and in, and he just golfs it out of here. He said Lou Whitaker kind of helped him hitting that fastball inside a couple of spring trainings ago. Lou said Lou told him, just clear your hips out of the way and let the bat just come through the strike zone.
That was the 6th career multi-homer game for Guillen to make it 11 to 5.
He's showing some bat range today. His first home run of the day back in the 1st inning. And it was right down the left field line.
Marcus Thames driving one down the left field line, but foul.
Even though Marcus' bat shattered, he still gets home run distance. He's got some kind of power.
Thames pinch hitting for Cabrera. His day is done as well.
Marcus has been struggling lately with the bat. His playing time has diminished greatly since Aubrey Huff got here.
And the two probably go hand in hand. Fewer at bats. For Thames, who there was a stretch where he was playing every day.
Well, Carlos came back as well, and Carlos is getting all the at-bats before Huff got here as the DH. But now Carlos is in left, and Huff is that left-handed bat against right-handed pitcher.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Got him, strike 3. Thames caught looking, 6 strikeouts for Shields. Tigers get a couple of them back and will go to the 8th. Santiago will move to second base. Adam Everett stays in the game. He will play shortstop. We have a new first baseman. That is Marcus Thames. He stays in the game. Pinch hitting for Cabrera. And then Ryan Rayburn now has entered the ball game, and he will play third for Brandon Inge.
A couple of years ago, before the Tigers acquired Miguel Cabrera, Marcus was getting quite a few reps at that first base position, but he has not been over there very much in the last year and a half.
Well, get some time there right now as the Rays hit in the 8th inning. Ben Zobrist leading it off. Burrell and then Longoria scheduled to follow. Zobrist, double and an RBI in this game. Hammers one towards second out of the reach of Santiago, and another hit. An aggressive turn at first base by Zobrist.
They are not giving away any at bats here late in this game, and still putting pressure on the defenders in the outfield with those aggressive turns at first base. And Rick Knapp on the phone and getting somebody up in the bullpen. And this is the first time that Marcus has played first base this year.
There's Pat Burrell. Wave and a miss.
August 26th was the last time that Marcus played first base a year ago.
Burrell has a 2-run double in this game, plus a walk. Tampa's high water mark for hits in a ball game this year is 18. They did that against the Boston Red Sox way back in April, and they have 14 today. Swing and a miss, and Burrell is retired. So Perry, who came on to get the final out of the 6th, pitched through the 7th, and now here in the 8th. Foutain beginning to heat up in the Detroit bullpen. He'll be next. Here's Longoria. Longoria has hit into a stunning 24 double plays this year, which is the most in all of Major League Baseball.
He's got that classic power swing and does not get out of the batter's box very quick. Therefore, balls on the ground. Very little chance for him to get to first.
0-2. Big day for Longoria. 3 hits and RBI. He has scored 3 times. Boy, they hit the jackpot when they drafted this guy. This might be another double play, not hit all that hard. Here comes the relay from Everett. Doesn't matter. That is a double play, number 25, that Longoria has bounced into this year. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. Tigers have Huff, Rayburn, and Thomas. 8th inning. By the way, we're back with you tomorrow. The Cleveland Indians coming to town to start a 3-game series. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Tigers Live. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire tomorrow evening on Fox Sports Detroit. Also Fox Sports Detroit HD, and Carlos Carrasco coming up from AAA Columbus, where he was pitching some pretty good baseball. Didn't walk too many down there.
Which will be key for him at this level. A lot of times you get young pitchers that have nice spreads between their walks and their strikeouts, and all of a sudden they get to the big leagues and they're a little afraid to throw the ball over the heart of the plate.
Edwin Jackson, meanwhile, will oppose him.
He's not afraid to throw the ball over the plate.
Lance Cormier takes over.
He's got good numbers. 2-1, respectable earned run average, not a strikeout guy. Only 32 strikeouts in over 64 innings pitched, and the league is hitting .245 against Lance.
Here's Aubrey Huff to lead it off. Ryan Rayburn to follow. Tigers down 11-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Aubrey looks at a ball outside, 1-0. Reached on an error by the center fielder Upton in the 6th inning. Otherwise 0 for 3 for Aubrey. Cormier missing low, run the count to 2-0. High chopper foul down the first base line. Cormier 4th in the league in innings pitched for relievers. Parts of 5 seasons with different organizations: Baltimore, Atlanta, Arizona. Run it to 3-1. In the air, right field. Zobrist will run it down right in front of the 365 marker out there in right center.
They know how to defend Aubrey. He played a number of years for the Tampa organization, and they play him to pull, and they play him deep in right field, where he hits the majority of his balls.
One out for Ryan Rayburn. This will be his first at bat. That's in the air to right field. This will stay in the ballpark as well. Zobrist has another chance. 2 quick outs. And now Clete Thomas. Well, the Tigers wrapping up this series here. Cleveland coming to town next. Then Detroit will hit the road. September will kick into full gear. Tigers, despite the numbers so far today, have been so good at home. 21 over 500 in this ballpark. Jim Leland had to be encouraged by that series in Anaheim when they took 2 out of 3 in a ballpark that's really difficult to win in.
It's tough to beat that team, whether you're playing them at home or on the road. The Angels act is pretty good everywhere they play.
Little dribbler hit toward third. Longoria is going to barehand. Look at that play.
Nicely done, Evan.
Tigers go 1-2-3. We go to the 9th. You up to speed with the AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Well, as we go to the ninth inning here, big lead for the Tampa Bay Rays in this one, 11-5. Carlos Pena with a huge day today.
As a matter of fact, his 3 hits today, we're going to make it our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. The first time he played long ball, that was in the first inning, 2-run shot off Washburn. And then he hit an absolute seed that got Granderson turned around and got past Granderson for a double. And then first pitch swinging once again against Perry. An absolute missile to right field. And Carlos locked in today.
To the tune of 4 RBIs. He is a triple short of the cycle. 96 driven in. Futeni is the new Tigers pitcher, and he drops it a strike.
Now this shift that they're playing on Carlos Pena, as we get a look at the numbers of Nee, who has been sensational in the 21 games he has played in the major leagues. This shift has meant absolutely nothing today with Pena in the batter's box.
Hammered foul. Out in front of that, knee offering, 0-2.
Carlos Pena won his first Gold Glove last year. And of course, that Gold Glove award is always tied to offensive numbers. Because he had a monster year offensively. He's always been a great defender at first. Always.
Ooh, that was close. 1-2.
He's got some really soft hands.
Over his last 8 appearances, Futeni has limited opponents to 2 for 37. It's an 0.54 average.
That's a bingo number.
Ooh, and he's just added to that as Pena goes down. One of the few times today.
Hey, Tigers fans, place a deposit on 2010 season tickets and receive postseason priority for 2009. For more information, call 313-471-BALL or visit tigers.com. And yes, they are starting to talk about the postseason here in the Motor City.
Akinori Iwamura didn't start this game, but came on to replace the starting second baseman of the contest. That was Willie Ibar. Iwamura coming back from a knee injury. Had some problems with his ACL. They initially thought it might be season ending, but he is here for the stretch run. And he hammers this one in the air to deep right center field. Granderson cruising over. Two gone. This big series starting at the Metrodome this evening between the Twins and the White Sox. Gavin Floyd and Nick Blackburn hook up tonight.
White Sox have had a very, very tough trip. They've only won 1 of the 7 games they've played so far. And they've lost the last 13 of 15 that they've played in the Metrodome. So the Metrodome is not an easy place for anybody to play. And the White Sox have trouble there just like most teams.
There's Navarro, and there's a strike. Deanna Navarro, a couple of singles today. One ball, one strike.
As a matter of fact, the White Sox have had such a difficult time of winning ball games in Minnesota. Ozzie Guillen a couple of years ago gave them a nickname, Punto and the Piranhas. especially the way they play in their own ballpark.
An appropriate nickname. Just kind of nip away at it.
Yep. Keep chomping.
They do have some thunder in that lineup now. Morneau, Kubel. Mauer's hit more homers.
A lot more home runs.
One and two on Deoner Navarro. Ground ball foul just outside of the bag at third and right by Rayburn. And right by the ball boy as well. Got a long way to get this one. Some extra camera time. Good scoop by Avila. 2-2. There've been 24 hits in this game. The Tigers have 10 of their own. 14 for the visiting Rays. Here's the 2-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Navarro. Driven foul. Well, these Rays are going to go home to face the Boston Red Sox. Lester, Beckett, and Buchholz waiting for Joe Madden's crew. That'll be a huge series.
They've got a lot of tough games coming up due to the Tampa Rays, because once the Tigers roll down to Florida, they'll be looking at Verlander again and Jackson in that series.
That'll be no picnic. It's in foul ground. Marcus makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. We will go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Standing the test of time since 1849. Last call for the Tigers. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's 11-5 in favor of the Tampa Bay Rays. And the Tigers winding up this 4-game series. Rays trying to skip town with a split. And the Tigers have 3 more outs. Attendance here this afternoon was 26,553 at the ballpark for a Monday afternoon game here. Got a new pitcher on now for the Tampa Bay Rays, Brian Schaus, the well-traveled Brian Schaus.
The 31st game now that he has been in, but he's only logged 19 2/3 innings, which means that they pretty much use him as a specialist. and to come in against left-handed batters. And even though Joe Madden has a 6-run lead, he is using this time to get Shout some work against a couple of left-handers. Avila due to lead off, and Granderson due to bat third. Should Jim stay that way with his batting order?
Alex Avila leads it off and looks at a strike from Schaus, who is 40 years old. Oldest pitcher in Rays history.
Looks like that arm angle just continues to slide down a little bit lower, to the fact now that he's throwing almost from underneath.
Yeah, submarine. 1-1.
I guess it may be tough to get the old arm up once you get to 40 years old, though.
You need more oil to get those parts working.
Yeah.
Slings it home and is hit back into center field. A base hit. Avila with his second hit.
He's got a nice stroke. Even against the left-hander, kind of just stays in there. Shout's not overpowering, so he's not intimidating. Looked like a little breaking ball that was just kind of floating up there.
Here comes Santiago. Roll toward third base off of Longoria. No play for the shortstop Bartlett, and the first two Tigers reach. It's the second time today a ball has gone off of Longoria.
The ball gets on you in a hurry when you play the hot corner. On both of the plays that he got, that he didn't field cleanly, both of them short hops. And that one just came up on him.
It's a base hit. Two singles for the Tigers here in the ninth inning, and here is Curtis Granderson. Navarro wants time. Granderson 0 for 4.
Well, if you're Granderson in this situation, and where Schaus has already given up a couple of hits, he's trying to close this game out. He is falling behind you. And sit on the one pitch that you should be getting here, which is a fastball, and find a gap somewhere.
1 ball, 1 strike.
I don't know if that was a fastball or not at that velocity, but it had a lot of late life to it for sure. I think that might have been his fastball, but it was only 81.
You can't pay attention to the radar when identifying pitches, can you?
Not on some of these cats.
There's a ground ball to second. That should be 2. There's 1. Here comes the relay. And safe again. Granderson beat it out.
You got to give Granderson some credit. I mean, that is 2 double plays. They probably should have turned over with Granderson running. But he wastes very little time getting out of the batter's box. And he's always giving you 110%. Flying out of the batter's box. And he got jammed here. Usually when you get jammed, it takes you longer to get out of the box.
Tigers at first and third with 1 out. And here is Adam Everett. Then we've got a balk call. This is score a run.
What did he do? Drop the ball?
Looked like it. Schaus dropped the baseball and scored the run from third base. Avila comes in. Oops. Oh my goodness. No balls, 1 strike on Everett. So the clock gives the Tigers a run. It's now 11-6. Adam came on a pinch hit for Polanco in the 7th and struck out on his only at bat. Here's the 1-1. This is the 19th professional season for Schaus, who will turn 41 in September. 2-2. Driven foul. A little rattle around the seats and another souvenir. Pulled again. Shouts with that mustache he has, a little facial resemblance to Todd Jones. His left-handed Todd Jones, a little bit, mostly the mustache. And again, the 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, foul as Everett stays alive. Fouled it off.
Schaus is one of those guys, if you're a right-handed hitter, you cannot be too aggressive against him. He's only throwing his fastball at 80 to 82 miles an hour. Therefore, you simply have to think about driving the ball the other way. If he makes a mistake you're going to be able to turn on that ball anyway. But if you're looking to do some damage and pull the baseball and he throws one away from you, you're not going to make good contact. And usually guys like this don't throw the ball by you.
Way outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This will be the 10th pitch coming up here in this at bat. Howell is the lefty and Springer is the righty. And the 3-2 in the air toward left field. That ball is down, a fair ball. This will get another run in. Granderson scores an RBI double for Adam Everett.
Pretty good at bat here by Adam, who saw everything but the kitchen sink from Schaus and finally hit one off the end of the bat in the left field, but Kapler was not able to get to it.
We bring up Carlos Guillen. Getting a little bit antsy on the Tampa Bay bench. 2 singles to start the inning. What looked like a double play ball was beaten out by Granderson, a balk, and now a double.
And by now you know, if you followed our club, that Guillen cannot swing right-handed.
He's going to bunt, and he almost laid it in there. Nice play by Longoria, got him.
And Longoria anticipation was tremendous there. Carlos cannot swing the bat right-handed. The Rays know that. Almost made it 4 days without saying that. Almost 4 days.
No
and
chance.
I said it. But that was a pretty good bunt by Carlos. A little bit too hard, especially when you have a guy down at that position that can field this position the way that Longoria does. And you also know Carlos cannot swing right-handed.
So Schaus will be taken out of this game, and they will go to the bullpen. And we will step aside. So one 40-year-old gives way to another. Here comes Springer.
Almost 4 days.
the Tigers have scored a pair of runs. Speaking of stress, they've got a pretty good stretch run coming up.
32 total games, 18 of which are at home where they play good baseball, but they are like most teams in the American League. They struggle on the road. They've got 6 games against Boston, 3 more against Detroit. They also play the Yankees, Texas. Tough schedule.
Springer now is going to try and close this one out. He needs 1 out.
As Jim Leland would say, this is the big leagues.
It is indeed.
There are good teams in the big leagues.
Here's Marcus Thames. He unloaded on that thing, but way foul.
Sometimes the opposing pitchers will throw Marcus that little BP fastball inside on the very first pitch, knowing that he's looking for the fastball, and 2, also knowing that the only thing that he can do with this pitch is pull it foul. Pitchers do that by design on occasion to Marcus.
Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball stayed up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers have a man on. That would be Everett at third base with 2 outs. And the 1-1.
You know, at the end of the day, if the score stays 11-7, it's going to look like it was a lot closer game, judging by the numbers. 13 hits for the Tigers, 14 for them. But it really hadn't been that close a game.
Yeah, the Rays have been in command. The Tigers just been able to chip away after this thing got a little bit out of hand for Tampa. That's fouled back out of play. Two and two. Marcus, a pinch hitter for Cabrera in the 7th. He fanned in his only at bat. Trying to keep this thing going with Huff on deck. And the 2-2 pitch. Low, 3-2. Aubrey Huff hoping he gets another shot. Three balls, 2 strikes. Russ Springer trying to get the final out. It's been tough to come by. It's the 17th big league season for Springer. I mentioned he's 40 years old as well. The Rays have had a few 40-year-olds in their brief history. Wade Boggs, Fred McGriff, Springer and Schaus. And he got him. Thames strikes out to end the ball game, and the Tigers will settle for a split here against the Tampa Bay Rays as the Rays win it here this afternoon at Comerica Park. Right now we have a moment. We check in with Ryan Field for a preview of